Hello and welcome into the FCS Huddle. I'm Elliot Schall alongside the FCS senior writer for stats, Craig Haley. Now, Craig, again, we're talking about some key players in the FCS and guys that have started to make an impact. And you know, NFL scouts are going to start watching. So now, when you talk about the NFL draft, it's not something that you just talk about come April or, now it's all season long. And the FCS averaging about 18 selections each year, and it's continuing to increase, and guys are really taking notice now. Tell us more about the impact on some of these FCS teams and these players come draft time.
Sure, Elliot. I mean, NFL teams have really woken up to the talent level on the FCS level. It's been a great 2-year run for running backs. There hasn't been an FCS first-round selection since 2008, but the last 3 years there's been a second-round pick each time. Jaquiski Tart, the great safety from Sanford, went to the 49ers this past year. I think if you have good tape, you show you've done well for 4 years. Tape against FBS opponents certainly helps. There's all-star games, your pro day. There's a chance to make a big impact and show people what you can do. I think the notion you have to get over is that you're coming from the small school level. But again, a 4-year resume is going to show whether you can play at the next level.
Absolutely. And, we talked about Cooper Kupp, obviously, a guy to keep an eye on. But, when you talk about offense, the quarterback, obviously, the main position. And you've seen guys translate in the NFL from the FCS. You talk about Joe Flacco, Tony Romo, even though now he's hurt, obviously, with the broken clavicle. But a guy that's really stuck out is Carson Wentz, the quarterback from North Dakota State. I mean, what is it that scouts are really looking at on him?
Well, he's got NFL size at 6'6". He has a very strong arm. He is certainly what you want. He's a mid-level kind of quarterback in the top 10 of senior quarterbacks this year. There's another player on his line, Joe Haig, also somebody is a mid-round talent. And obviously North Dakota State has talent everywhere. But with Carson, he's a tremendous college quarterback. He'll run over you. At the same time, maybe he has to polish that up a little bit because in the NFL, they don't want your quarterback getting hurt when you're paying all that money. So I think he is the one to watch. Other quarterbacks, John Robertson has been hurt the last year at times. I do think that's going to factor in going forward, and he probably won't be drafted. There's Vadley down at James Madison. Josh Woodrum at Liberty just beat Montana. He's got NFL size and an arm. So, yeah, there's plenty to look at, and Carson Wentz obviously leads the way.
Absolutely. And, making a 53-man roster is certainly not an easy thing in the NFL. And when the draft comes along, it gives guys hope and a chance to really make an impact. Now, looking at the 2016 NFL draft, obviously we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but what are maybe some gems that a guy can find or some deep sleepers going into that area?
You mentioned making the roster. Jason Myers from Marist a couple of years ago, place kicker, went out, and he's an undrafted player. He went out and won the job this year with the Jaguars. Yeah. It's amazing what you can do. A lot of players do fill the rosters. If you're looking for a hidden gem, I'm going to go John Lunsford at Liberty, the place kicker. Just tremendous leg and range. Last year alone, he kicked 3 of the 5 longest field goals in all of Division I, a 56-yarder, a 57-yarder, a 60-yarder against Richmond. He has the distance. So I think he's one to watch. He's a little bit of a quirky guy, too, when you get to know him. So I think you need that in a place kicker. But he's certainly a guy you take a chance with in the 7th round. Place kickers don't get drafted often, but he's one to watch,
no,
John
definitely.
Lunsford.
All right, that's going to do it for us today. Again, for everything FCS, make sure to check out the website, fcs.football, as well as the Twitter, at FCS_stats. And give Craig Haley a follow, at Craig Haley. Always fun to see what he has to say, the insight and the knowledge that this guy has. It'll really get you excited for every Saturday game day. Again, I'm Elliot Schall. Thank you for watching.